The Olympic Games are often associated with ancient Greece, where they originated in 76 BCE as a celebration of athleticism, competition, and religious devotion. However, as the Roman Empire expanded its influence across the Mediterranean world, the tradition of the Olympics inevitably interacted with Roman culture. While the original Greek games focused on events like foot races, discus throws, and chariot races, the Romans were known for their own unique brand of public entertainment, gladiatorial combat. The convergence of these two traditions, though distinct in many ways, offered a fascinating glimpse into the values, priorities, and societal dynamics of the ancient Roman Empire. The Greek origins of the Olympics. To understand the impact of the Roman Empire on the Olympics, it's essential first to explore the origins of these games in ancient Greece. The Olympic Games were held every 4 years in Olympia, a sanctuary site dedicated to Zeus, the king of the Greek gods. The event attracted athletes from various Greek city-states who competed in events such as running, long jump, shot put, javelin, boxing, and wrestling. The Olympics were more than just a sporting event, they were a religious festival with rituals and sacrifices performed in honor of the gods. The athletes competed for personal glory and the honor of their city-state, with winner receiving a laurel wreath as a symbol of their victory. The Games promoted unity among the often warring Greek city-states and were a significant cultural event in the ancient world. When the Romans conquered Greece in 146 BCE, they were profoundly influenced by Greek culture, adopting and adapting various aspects of it, including religion, art, literature, and of course, sports. However, the Romans had their own distinct ideas about public entertainment, which were markedly different from the Greek emphasis on athleticism and religious devotion. The Romans were more interested in spectacles that demonstrated powers, violence, and the triumph of civilization over barbarism. This is where the concept of gladiatorial games became significant. These games were originally part of funeral rites, but evolved into grand public spectacles held in amphitheaters, where trained gladiators battled to the death for the entertainment of the masses. The idea of incorporating the Olympics into Roman culture was met with a mixture of admiration and adaptation. While the Romans appreciated the Greek emphasis on physical prowess, they were more inclined to blend this with their own traditions of martial skill and public spectacle. Gladiatorial Games, the Roman spectacle. Gladiatorial games were a cornerstone of Roman public life. These games were initially held in small arenas, but grew in scale and grandeur as the Roman Empire expanded. The most famous of these venues was the Colosseum in Rome, an architectural marvel that could hold tens of thousands of spectators. Gladiators were typically slaves, prisoners of war, or condemned criminals, though some free men volunteered for the profession in hopes of achieving fame and fortune. The life of a gladiator was brutal and often short, with many dying in combat. However, successful gladiators could achieve a level of celebrity and were sometimes even granted their freedom. The games were not merely about senseless violence. They were highly organized events with different classes of the gladiators, each with its own specialized weaponry and fighting style. Some gladiators fought in heavy armor with large shields, while others were lightly armored and relied on speed and agility. The audience was an active participant in these games, often deciding the fate of the defeated gladiator with a thumbs up or thumbs down gesture. While the Greek Olympics were a celebration of athleticism and competition, the Roman gladiatorial games were a demonstration of the empire's power, wealth, and ability to impose order on chaos. The games were also a tool for political control, as emperors used them to curry favor with the populace and distract them from political issues. Romans did not abandon the Greek Olympics, but instead adapted them to fit their own cultural context. Under Roman rule, the Olympic Games continued to be held in Olympia, though they began to incorporate elements of Roman spectacle. One significant change was the introduction of events that were more aligned with Roman martial values. While the traditional Greek events like running and wrestling continued, the Romans added chariot racing, which was already popular in Roman circuses, and gladiatorial-style combat events. These adaptations reflected the Roman emphasis on military skill and public spectacle. In 67 CE, Emperor Nero, known for his love of the arts and public games, participated in the Olympics, competing in chariot racing. Though he famously fell during the race, he was still declared the winner, highlighting the political nature of the games under Roman rule. Nero's participation was emblematic of how the Olympics had become a platform for Roman emperors to display their power and magnanimity. While gladiators were not a formal part of the traditional Olympic Games, their presence in Roman culture had a significant influence on the event's evolution under Roman rule. The spectacle of gladiatorial combat resonated with the Roman public in a way that the more subdued athletic competitions of the Greeks did not. As the Roman Empire grew, so did the scale and grandeur of public games. The merging of Olympic events with gladiatorial spectacles created a new kind of public entertainment that appealed to Roman sensibilities. The line between athlete and gladiator began to blur, as some events required participants to demonstrate not just athletic skill, but also the ability to fight and survive. For example, some of the combat sports that were originally part of the Greek Olympics, such as boxing and pancration, a no-holds-barred form of wrestling, took on a more violent character under Roman influence. The inclusion of armed combat and the potential for lethal outcomes in these events reflected the Roman appetite for blood sport. In some cases, gladiatorial games were held in conjunction with Olympic events, with the games serving as a prelude to the more traditional athletic competitions. These hybrid events showcase the fusion of Greek and Roman cultural practices with the refined athleticism of the Greeks mingling with the brutal martial spectacles of the Romans. As the Roman Empire began to decline in the 3rd and 4th centuries CE, so too did the Olympic Games and gladiatorial contests. The rise of Christianity played a significant role in this decline, as the new religion condemned the violence and pagan ritual associated with these events. In 393 CE, Emperor Theodosius III, a Christian, officially abolished the Olympic Games, declaring them incompatible with Christian values. The gladiatorial games, which had already been waning in popularity, were also gradually phased out. The last recorded gladiatorial combat in Rome took place in 404 CE, after which the practice was officially banned. The end of these public spectacles marked a significant shift in Roman culture. The decline of the Olympics and gladiatorial games reflected the broader changes taking place in the Roman Empire as it transitioned from a polytheistic society that celebrated martial prowess and public spectacle to a Christian one that emphasized spiritual devotion and moral restraint. The legacy of the Roman adaptation of the Olympics and the role of gladiators in these games can still be seen today. The modern Olympic Games, revived in 1896, were inspired by the ancient Greek tradition, but have also been shaped by the Roman emphasis on spectacle and public entertainment. The inclusion of combat sports such as boxing, wrestling, and judo in the modern Olympics reflects the influence of Roman martial values on the tradition. Moreover, the concept of the arena as a venue for public entertainment has endured throughout history. The gladiatorial games, with their blend of athletic skill, martial prowess, and public spectacle, set a precedent for the kinds of mass entertainment that continue to captivate audiences today. From professional sports to combat sports like mixed martial arts, the influence of the Roman arena can be seen in the way these events are organized and consumed. The fascination with Gladiator also persists in popular culture, with countless films, books, and television shows depicting the life and struggles of these ancient warriors. The image of the gladiator standing alone in the arena, facing overwhelming odds, has become a symbol of bravery, endurance, and the human spirit's capacity to overcome adversity. The Olympics in the ancient Roman Empire offer a unique lens through which to view the intersection of Greek and Roman cultures. While the Romans adopted many aspects of the Greek Olympics, they also transformed them to reflect their own values and priorities. The inclusion of gladiatorial elements in the Olympic Games under Roman rule illustrates the ways in which public entertainment evolved to meet the tastes of a new audience. The story of the Roman Olympics and the role of gladiator in these games is one of cultural adaptation and transformation. It highlights the complex relationship between athletic competition, martial skill, and public spectacle in the ancient world. Even as the Roman Empire declined, the legacy of these games endured, influencing the development of modern sports and public entertainment. In the end, the fusion of Greek and Roman traditions in the Olympic Games serve as a testament to the enduring power of cultural exchange and the ways in which different societies can influence and reshape each other's practices and values.